Good morning to everyone. Myself Vadivelu, working as assistant professor in the Department of Aeronautical Engineering. I am going to take the course Gas Dynamics. Before going to the subject, one should know four things. So first one is how the subject is connected with the other subjects in the curriculum. Second one is basically it is an aerodynamic subject. So one should know where it stands in aerodynamic stream. Third one is why do we want to study this subject? What are its needs? Fourth one is what are its prerequisite knowledge? So we know that we started aerodynamic stream with the subject engineering mechanics. So this subject is divided into two major subjects, solid mechanics and fluid mechanics. So we are going to concentrate on fluid mechanics. So under fluid mechanics, this is further subdivided into two major categories, hydrodynamics and gas dynamics. Hydrodynamics deals with the dynamics of liquid flows. So this is the subject we are going to concentrate now, gas dynamics. So under gas dynamics, we have three main subjects, incompressible fluid dynamics, compressible fluid dynamics, and third one is hypersonic aerodynamics. So this incompressible fluid dynamics subject we already studied in the previous semester, which solves the problems which has density change less than 5%. So dou rho by rho will be less than 0.05% for that flow. So in terms of Mach number, it is less than 0.3 Mach number. So in terms of velocity, that flow velocity will be less than 100 meter per second. So totally it covers low subsonic flow regimes, which means the Mach number of the flow between 0 and 0.3. And second main subject is compressible flow dynamics. So this is going to cover density change that is more than 5%, 0.05, d rho by rho is more than 0.05. So for this flow, the Mach number will be more than 0.3 Mach number. In terms of velocity, it is more than 100 meter per second. So totally it is going to cover three flow regimes. So one is high subsonic flow regime, that is when Mach number is between 0.3 and 1. So second one is supersonic flow regime. So that is when Mach number is between 1 and 5. And third one is transonic flow regime, from lower critical Mach number to upper critical Mach number. So these are all typical values. So this will change depending upon the aircraft type. So and the third subject is hypersonic aerodynamics. So which will cover even more speed. So that is when Mach number is more than 5. So in curriculum, so these two subjects will come as main subjects, main core subjects. This one will come as an elective subject. So this subject we already studied. So here in this subject, so we are going to cover all these things in the name of gas dynamics subject. The subject code is 15AE 501. Subject name is gas dynamics. So as we discussed earlier, so this is compressible flow dynamics. This will cover compressible flow dynamics. These are all very high speed flows. This indirectly means that it has high energy in it. To get the basic understanding of the subject, so I have an example, a supersonic flow over a blunt nose cone. At upstream, let's say it has Mach number more than 1 and with a static temperature of 375 Kelvin. So definitely we will have a bow shock wave since the flow is supersonic flow. So this is a detached shock wave. So at the in front of the nose cone, we will have stagnation point. So if actually measure the temperature, it will be in the range of 675 Kelvin. So these are all just typical values. So if you see this, at upstream we have 375 Kelvin, but at downstream at the stagnation point we have 675 Kelvin. If it is in case of incompressible flow, this change will not be this much. Almost this temperature will be equal. But here in this case, compressible flow case, this much temperature change is occurring. So from 375 Kelvin to 675 Kelvin. So that much energy transformation is occurring in the compressible flow. So totally in this subject, energy transformation and temperature changes are very important considerations. So this point I have to highlight. So this is what we are going to consider most: energy transformation and temperature changes. So in incompressible flow dynamics, we have not used energy equation. So that is because that much energy transformation will not be there in incompressible flow. Since the subject is going to deal with energy transformation and temperature change, so we need prerequisite knowledge on thermodynamics. Without thermodynamics, we cannot proceed this subject. So as a prerequisite knowledge, we need basic understanding of thermodynamic variables and their process. Thermodynamic variables such as entropy, enthalpy, internal energy, temperature, heat, and so on. Processes, there are different types of processes: thermodynamic processes, adiabatic processes, reversible processes, irreversible processes, isentropic processes. So those ideas we should have, and their relations corresponding to each and every processes we should know. I already mentioned this subject is going to cover 3 flow regimes. So one is high subsonic flow regime between Mach number 0.3 and 1. Then transonic flow regime between Mach number 0.85, lower critical Mach number to upper critical Mach number. And then supersonic flow regimes between Mach number 1 and 5. So in this subject, so we are going to do 3 things. So one is, so we are going to obtain the relationship between flow properties between 2 state points in the compressible flow. So in the compressible flow, we are going to get the relations between state point 1 and state point 2. So what are the flow properties we will have? So first one is stagnation pressure P01, static pressure P1, dynamic pressure PD1, stagnation temperature T01, static temperature T1, stagnation density ρ01, static density ρ1, specific volume V1, mass M1, volume V1, stagnation enthalpy H01, static enthalpy H1, internal energy E1, entropy S1, and velocity V1, Mach number M1, and speed of sound A1. So we are going to relate state point 1 and state point 2 variations, flow properties variations first. Second thing is in the form of in integral form as well as in differentiable form, that I have to mention here. And second one is, so with these relations we are going to develop certain theories to predict the forces and movements generated on the body. So after doing this, so we are going to apply this knowledge as a special techniques, methods and design modifications to get the better aerodynamic characteristics. So that's all. So this is the introduction of the subject. So hereafter we will see the topics one by one. The very first topic is one-dimensional continuity equation. So one-dimensional in the sense flow properties will vary only as a function of one direction, as a function of x. To derive this equation, so I am going to consider a control volume like this. So at inlet, so we will have static pressure P, static temperature T, static density rho, velocity V, and area A. So at exit, so there will be some incremental or decremental change that I represented it here in terms of differential terms. So P will become P plus dP. So this may be incremental change or decremental change. So P plus dB, T will become T plus dt, rho will become rho plus d rho, V will become V plus dV, A will become A plus dA. So here we have to note one point. So there won't be any mass transfer across the control volume. The only mass transfer occurs through inlet and exit. So whatever the mass comes in, it has to go out. Assumptions. So our first assumption is the given a gas medium is continuous. That means it ensures the continuous flow of the medium. We can integrate, differentiate by dividing that into infinitesimal small elements. Then second assumption is the flow is one directional. All the flow properties will vary as a function of x alone. So here I mentioned quasi. So what does it mean? Quasi means area is also a function of x. Then gas is a perfect gas. This one we studied in school days. Always perfect gas obeys equation of state, ideal gas law, P is equal to rho RT. So it indirectly means that intermolecular forces of the gases are negligible. Then steady flow. So steady flow means all the flow properties are independent of time. So we are not going to relate time here. And the last one is gravitational effects are negligible. So the effect of gravity on the flow, that we are going to avoid it. Mass can be neither created nor destroyed. It means mass is conserved. So from this statement we can say that whatever the mass comes in, it has to go out. So in terms of mass flow rate, it is m dot at section 1 is equal to m dot at section 2. So that is equal to constant. Even if I create a section here, it should have the same mass flow rate. Mass flow rate is equal to dm by dt. This we know. So this is equal to d by dt of mass. So we can represent mass in terms of rho into volume, mass and density into volume. So at a state point, we can take this density outside. So if we take, it will become d by dt of volume. So this we say that volume flow rate. Say that as volume flow rate. So mass flow rate is equal to rho into volume flow rate. This volume flow rate is denoted by Q. So how can we calculate volume flow rate? Area into velocity. So mass flow rate is equal to rho AV. So by applying this principle, we can say that mass flow rate at 1 is equal to mass flow rate at 2. So mass flow rate is equal to rho AV in terms of flow properties. So rho 1 A1 V1 is equal to rho 2 A2 V2, that is equal to constant. Simply in integral form, we can mention that rho AV is equal to constant. Again, we have to represent this equation in terms of differentiable form. To get the differentiable form, so first we have to differentiate this equation on both the sides. So if we do that, we will get d of rho AV is equal to d of constant. So here we have to differentiate this term. First we will consider AV as constant into d rho plus then rho V as constant and into dA plus and rho A is constant into dV, that is equal to differentiation of constant is 0. So this is a product rule. You might have seen this in mathematical classes. So generally all the differential equations are represented in terms of fractions. So here I am going to divide this equation by rho AVs to get the fractions. So if I divide this, I will get dV by V plus d rho by rho plus dA by A is equal to 0. So velocity fraction plus density fraction plus area fraction is equal to 0. So as per the assumptions, this is valid only for quasi one-dimensional steady state perfect gas flow continuity equation. So these assumptions will help us to identify where we can apply this equation, as well as it will help us to simplify the equations. So we can remove some minimum changes parameters so that we can get the simplified form. We can easily understand the physics of the flow. Since we have not taken any assumptions regarding the viscosity effects, this equation can be, these two equations can be applicable for both inviscid flow and viscous flow. So I am going to give you an idea how we can apply these two equations in a flow. So let us consider we have a laminar flow. We already know that in a laminar flow, streamlines won't cross each other. So it means there won't be, and also we know that across streamlines there won't be any mass transfer. So we can treat this area as a stream tube like this control volume. So there won't be any mass transfer across this streamline. Anyway, these two streamlines are not going to cross each other, that we have to keep in mind. Let's say this is section 1 and this is section 2. So here we will have density, area and velocity, and here also we will have density, area and velocity with incremental or decremental change. Now we can apply this equation, rho 1 a1 is equal to a1 v1 is equal to rho 2 a2 v2. This brings into my presentation. In next class we will see momentum equation, energy equation and some numerical problems. Thank you.